Hi everybody, Lorraine Sish here with StampWithLorraine.com. Welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you a fun fold card that uses the Sweet Ice Cream stamp set and the coordinating ice cream cone builder punch. It's a lot of fun to use combination punch out in many ways. I'm going to show you 4 different ways that you can use this combination of materials, and I'll show you this fun flip card where you have a flip that goes up and a flap that goes down, and they kind of interlock there. So you can do this in a vertical or horizontal mode, and I'm going to show you these 2 plus 2 more. So stay tuned. Give me a thumbs up down below if you like the video, please. And also don't forget to go back to StampWithLorraine.com for more information about the cards, the projects, and you can sign up for my mailing list there. If you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be yours. So stay in touch, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so our fun fold card today is going to actually have lots of layers, but it really isn't that difficult to do. You can actually do it with fewer layers if you prefer, but I think having the borders around the DSP and the 2 tones makes it a little special. So what you're going to start with for your card base is a little smaller than what you normally start with. So we're starting with 8 1/4 by 4 1/4, and that's going to be scored at 5 1/2, and then we're going to fold that up and give a nice crease there. So you're going to end up with your 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 card. All right, then we're going to take a piece of DSP. No, I'm sorry, we're going to take a piece of a different color cardstock, which measures 5 1/4 by 4, and we're going to put that as our next layer in here. Now, we're going to also cover that with another piece of DSP. And because this part is not going to be seen, I always like to get the most out of my cardstock. So I'm going to punch out some shapes there that I'll use later. So I think I will punch a couple of these rectangle postage stamp shapes out of here, things that I could use later. I know I'm just going to have a thin border here, so I can actually get 4 of these out of here. And I'll just use those for another project later on. So this is going to get glued down right in here. Then my DSP will go over that. Yep, a little bit in the middle there. The DSP will hold down in the spaces, so I'm not too worried about that. That's just leaving a nice thin border there. My DSP is going to go on top of that. Now this is Misty Moonlight and Highland Heather. The DSP is from the Flowers for Every Season 6x6 card DSP pack. So you have a lot of different patterns there, a lot of florals on one side, and just some more plain pattern stripes and dots and things on the other side. So even though I'm using the Sweet Ice Cream, and it does come with some coordinating DSP, I didn't get the DSP, so I am using some others that will work with my colors, and I think it works with the theme as well. So you can look to other DSPs to see what will work for you. And as one catalog ends and another annual catalog begins, a lot of that DSP is not carried over, so you sometimes have to look for other options. So this is from the Flowers for Every Season. Okay, so now this part's going to fold up, and I'm going to put my cardstock and DSP on the front of this also. Okay, so this is going to be my Highland Heather, which measures 4 by 2 1/2. I'm going to place that on there, and I can punch a little shape out of there as well, because that's going to be covered by DSP also. Don't waste when you don't have to. Now the DSP, I'm choosing a different pattern to go over this just for some contrast. And I chose also Misty Moonlight, but this time stripes to complement the little dots there. And I thought, I'm using the ice cream. It kind of looked whimsical. It kind of reminded me of Cabana and the beach. And so that's why I really like those stripes. Now that particular DSP is from a totally different set. This is from the Dandy Garden, which has the dragonfly pattern paper on there. But this is has a lot of florals as well. This is the reverse side of one of the florals. So it works together. I'm going to cover that up. Okay, then we have the basis of our card base. And now this part is going to be the flap that sort of overlaps with the first one. So this piece is 8.5 by 3, scored halfway at 4 1/4. So give that a nice crease there. And then we're going to put another part of the Highland Heather on here, and that one is 4 by 2 3/4. So basically it's just a 1/4 inch smaller than this piece here. So because I'm going to eventually cover this with white, I am not going to punch something out of this time because this might be more see-through and I don't want that darker color to show through. So I'm not going to worry about punching something out of here. I'm just going to glue this down. And now this is going to be our focal point right here, having a piece of white, which is 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. Now this piece could be stamped on, it can be, you can add punches, you can add die cuts, whatever you want to do here will be fine. But let me give you the basic layout of the card. Now this is going to be your inside. That will go in here. Again, if you want to stamp a sentiment on there or a coordinating little image, then do it ahead of time, because if you make a mistake, then you really don't have too many options to take that off. So do any stamping that you want to do beforehand. I'm choosing to leave this one blank because I'm making it a thank you card and I'm not sure exactly when I'll need it, so I want to leave some room for writing. I'll put that in there. Okay, and I'm going to put thank you up on top here. I'm going to do that in Misty Moonlight. This nice script font comes with the Sweet Ice Cream set. I'm going to put that on the top, and then I'm going to do my ice cream cone with the punches. So let me close that up. And this will go right on there. Because I'm doing it with punches, I'm going to attach it right away so that you can see how it's all going to go together. I'm going to be careful not to smear that. My ink pad was very juicy. I had recently inked it up to refresh it. So I want to be very careful not to smudge. Okay, it'll dry in a minute. All right, now this is going to fit on the center of the inside piece because then it will fold up and this will overlap it. So look how cute that is with those colors. And this design can work with anything, a kid's card, florals, masculine, something whimsical like the ice cream. Anything. And I love this combination of the Highland Heather and the Misty Moonlight. Okay, so this is what we're working with, and we're going to put some ice cream cones on there. Okay, so let me get out my punch. Now you can see you get both of these shapes in one punch. You get your cone and your scoop. So there are a couple of ways that you can do this. As you can see, I stamped this with Highland Heather, but I stamped off first so it wasn't so dark. See, first I stamped off to get some of the ink off, and then the second generation stamping is the lighter color. This is soft seafoam, and I just stamped that straight on. This is crumb cake, and it comes as a double stamp where you stamp the cone first and then the crisscrosses to show the texture of the cone. So I did that all on here to show you how you can punch these out. You can take your punch, you can punch these individually, like so. Just line it up in there, and that punches out. And then when you punch up again, yes, the cone part is going to cut something here, but you already cut this part out, so it really doesn't matter so much. So you can cut your Highland Heather. This looks like maybe blackberry ice cream, maybe. Could be yummy. And then you can feed these in there and cut your cones separately as well. There's one. And because I already cut this, I'm not worried. But you do want to orient them in a way that they're not going to, you're not going to cut out something that you want to save. All right, so that's one way of doing that. But if you wanted to, let me just show you a little trick. If you wanted to punch them both at the same time, you can make a little template. So here I took just a piece of white paper and I punched out the images. Okay, put them aside, maybe use them later, maybe whatever. And now you can use this sort of like a template or a stencil in a way, I would say, so that you could punch them both out. Now you want to orient it in a way that you know you're going to be able to access that. So I could have that like that, and I can then punch, okay, I did the Highland Heather last, so I don't have to clean my stamp. I will show you that one. Okay, so I'm going to stamp some of the Highland Heather off because I don't want it that dark. Although I'm sure some ice cream cones would be like that, but I wanted it a little lighter. And I'm going to position my stamp right over that opening and stamp right in there. All right, so it's right there. And then I'm going to take my crumb cake and I'm going to do the same thing with the cone. Stamp it right in there. I'm just doing this without stamping off because the way the stamp is made, it's made to have different shading, so it's going to come out kind of on the light side anyway. So I'm going to just go right in there. And oops, I see I missed a little bit over there, so I'm just going to try to ink that part up again. Here we go. Whew, that worked out well. Then when you take it off, now it's in position that you can punch them both out at the same time. So let me put my little detail on there, taking my crumb cake and just stamping my little crisscrosses for the cone texture there. Okay, and then you could do them, punch them both out at the same time if that's what you prefer. Have that all set. So either way works, whatever you want to do. All right, so I'll put those aside for now. I'm going to use these. I'm only going to use one cone because we're going to have a double scoop there. And we're going to put that right on here. Okay, like so. Let's see, which one should I put on top? I guess it could go either way. All right, so I'm going to glue down my cone first. Then I'm going to pop the scoops of ice cream on dimensionals because they should be a little more sticking out at you, right? And make it yummy. Okay, so I'm going to, actually what I think I'm going to do first, I'm sorry, let me put some dimensionals up here. I'm going to actually glue these two together and then put them both on dimensionals. Because if I put this one down first and this one too high up, then it won't be even. So I'm just going to glue these together. I'm going to put a little dot of glue up here. Make sure that fits. Maybe I need to move it down just a little bit. There we go. That's good. Now I could put dimensionals on the back of both of those scoops. Okay, pull those backs off. And then stick my ice cream right on there. Okay, so we have a cute little thank you card. Flips up, and I have plenty of room to write something in there whenever I have somebody I want to say a special thank you to. Okay, here's another version. I just stamped the ice cream cone and the 3 ice cream scoops on there. Instead of punching them out, I just stamped them. So we have kind of like a mint chocolate chip there, and chocolate and strawberry. So tying that in with Seaside Foam and Bermuda Bay, and tied all that in. These little sequins there I added from Whale of a Time sequins because they were from the Seaside Spray, so that kind of coordinated there. Now here's the DSP that I use. So here we go, open. Little confetti on the inside there, which would be the sprinkles on the set. You can use them as sprinkles like I did here, or look like confetti to me. So yeah, let's have an ice cream party. How cute is that? All right, so when you're doing the stamping, you do need to do some masking when you want to do this. So I punched this out of just plain thin computer paper, my little ice cream scoop. And when you're stamping this, you're going to stamp the top one first. And then you would mask that one. And then you can stamp your brown. Okay, did that in soft suede. And then you're not going to go over your upper scoop. And then I masked that one. You can see I have some pink on top of the brown. And then I mask that. And then you can mask the pink and do your cone in the bottom. I didn't quite do that, and that's why you see it through there. But that's what you can do. But you have to kind of plan out your spacing a little bit. So that's another version, doing it vertically. The DSP that I used here was from, like I said, look to other places to find some inspiration. This was from the Fine Art Floral. It has all these colors in there. So that's the one with, it looks like the oil painted flowers and all. Well, some of the backgrounds work just fine for some other themes as well. So look to all your DSP and see what you can find. Some, what I used on the Cinnamon Cider one with a gift card was the 2022 In Color Designer Series paper. And that's going to be retiring with the new annual catalog. So, but there will be another pattern that can be used in these end colors as well. It's just going to not have these same designs. So I just thought the dots were kind of whimsical. So I thought that worked out fine there. All right. And then another one we did horizontally. So it doesn't have to be a vertical. It could be horizontally. This one I did with the popsicle. Now the popsicle has 2 different parts to it. The bottom part and the top part. So I did the bottom part in Flirty Flamingo and I did the top part in Pumpkin Pie, but that was stamped off. So I stamped it on my paper first to get some of the ink off, and then I stamped over that. So if you don't do it, then it comes out a little too dark. There was my first mistake. So I stamped off and we have a little bit lighter, more frosty looking design. And then attach my little, I stamped my stick with, has a little extra wood grain stamp to give you some of that detail. Pop this up with dimensional dots, and it's very simple. So this one was the simplest one. I took some rhinestones, which are clear rhinestones, but then took my Stampin' Blends, my dark pumpkin pie, and colored over the rhinestones before putting them on there. That way it matched with the pumpkin pie. This is Blackberry Bliss. And this background was also from the Fine Art Floral. This one here was from the Butterfly Bijou, which is no longer available as well, but it's the one that had all these nice backgrounds on the backs of the butterflies. But I thought that kind of looked like ice cream splatters and tied in with those same colors there as well. So lots of, think outside the box, so to speak. So this one, same idea, just opens horizontally. So here's another version that uses DSP for the little ice cream scoops. And this time I used sand and sea. So look to other places other than the coordinating DSP. You don't always have to have that. It's nice when it does coordinate, but this just looked like nice little ice cream swirls to me. And the sand and sea reminds me of like a strawberry shortcake. That sounds like really good ice cream. So Sand and Sea has the Blushing Bride, Flirty Flamingo, those pinks in there, and paired it up with Cinnamon Cider. This is Blushing Bride on the cardstock. For the sentiment, I heat embossed that in white and just fussy cut around and attach that on. And instead of DSP in the background here, I just embossed it. So you can use your favorite embossing in the back. I used the painted texture for the embossing in the background here. And I did this in the horizontal position and opening up this way, you have Happy Birthday. So now I'm going to show you how you can make this into a gift card holder. So we're just going to attach a little pocket on the side here to be able to put a gift in. So when you say treat yourself, happy birthday, we're going to have a little gift in there. So this is what we did. I took 4 1/4, a strip with the same color cardstock, 4 1/4 by 1 5/8. Now you can adjust that height to whatever size your gift card is. Maybe you want the logo to show better or more or less. So you can add a little bit more to that if you like. We're going to score 3/8 on 3 sides of this. So 3/8 there, 3/8 there. Just enough to turn it in, and 3/8 there. Okay, just enough so that your gift card can slide in. And I'm demonstrating with Rita's ice cream gift card. So just make sure, some gift cards might be a little wider or whatever. Just make sure it's going to fit there. Okay, so we're going to burnish those score lines nice and firm, just to make a little pocket. And with our snips, we're going to snip off those corners. And I also like to give it a little bit of a miter cut. Just angle it a little bit so when you fold it, it takes some of the bulk away. And you can miter cut these as well. Just a little bit. Okay, now we're going to fold them in. Now this is what I like to do. I like to have the sides folded in first, and then the longer part, the bottom part on the outside. That way, when the card goes in, it's not going to get caught on this bottom part. It's just going to slide in those little channels, those little slots there a little bit more easily than if it's like this. As you're going in, it might be a little hard. It might catch. So I'm going to fold the sides in first, and then this. All right, I'm going to just put a little dot of glue, a little bit on here, a little bit on here. Fold that up, and then put some glue on here. Or you can use your Stampin' Seal or the Seal Plus. And we're just going to put it on this little flap here. Now you want to make sure your card is going to fit right in there. All right, and then that's going to just slide right in. So then you'll have a nice little gift. So treat yourself. Treat yourself to some ice cream. Okay, so here we have a vertical one. Here's our other vertical one. I added some sequins there. You can always add some embellishments if you like. You can tie a ribbon around here if you like. Whatever. It'll be a lot of fun. And then here are some horizontal ones that I did. Pumpkin Pie, Blackberry Bliss. Bermuda Bay and Soft Seafoam. This is Cinnamon Cider and Blushing Bride. And so I used many different ways. These were stamped. This was stamped right on. This used the punch. And this used the designer series paper to make the ice cream cones. So a lot of different things that you can do. This one I turned into a gift card. So that's a lot of fun. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. And don't forget to go visit my blog, stampwithlorraine.com. And hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye now.